Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, we are talking about Michael Matheson, and I have calmed down. I was very angry earlier today when that tosser blamed his kids. But there's a lovely little piece here, which I saw, and I thought, I've just got to do this piece, because it sums it up, I think, perfectly. And it explains why it may be very, very difficult, shall we say, round the dinner table tonight in the Matheson household. There'll be looks, there'll be accusations, there'll be a wee pinched face of his wife as she looks at him and then looks at her beloved children and thinks, why does this man hate his children so much? Well, we'll have a look at it, because it isn't going to go away despite him desperately hoping it will. He has to hand over the iPad and he has to resign. No two ways about it. That's the only thing. But we'll have a look at this and see where it's going. But I will do so this time in a spirit of more joviality, because we know that he is such a prick and he's going to have to go eventually. His position is completely untenable. But we'll look at this and hope our best. Here goes. See, the thing is, apart from now being a self-admitted liar, a self-admitted thief, a man who's broken so many parliamentary rules and also broken the GDPR rules, a man who cannot be trusted, and a man who is now officially a security risk, and so the security service are going to have to investigate. He's also being dubbed Father of the Year. So we'll go through this. Father of the Year, Michael Matheson threw his kids under the bus in excruciating Holyrood excuse fest. He thinks by blaming his children that he's going to get away with it and walk away scot-free, and I'm afraid not. He still has to go. The only difference is now, of course, when he resigns, he won't have his loving children putting their arm around him to say, never mind, Dad, things will get better one day. No, his kids will be looking at him going, you complete and utter wanker. Because after all, that's what he is. The Health Secretary might have thought he got away with it, thanks to his emotional statement. But no, he would have got away with it if it weren't for them pesky kids. But there is only one way this story is shut down, and that is with his resignation. He has to go, and he has to go quickly. And he has to hand over his iPad, and it has to be thoroughly investigated. It's fair to say there won't be much talk around the Matheson dinner table on Thursday night. No one will have much of an appetite. One could forgive Michael Matheson 3 boys after their old man threw them under the metaphorical bus during an excruciating Holyrood performance in which he desperately tried to deflect the blame for his £11,000 iPad bill. And among a litany of low points for the chamber, this one really plumbed the depths. As soon as I heard it, I knew, you're blaming children, you sad piece of shit. But I'm not getting angry. But he is just a sad piece of shit. Blaming kids. Man up, you prick. Anyway, the Health Secretary was on the verge of breaking down several times, and no wonder, because he knows that should that iPad be investigated, it won't just be the end of his parliamentary career. It could be the end of his marriage, his family, and even his freedom. Possibly, we suspect, depends on what's on there. But that is presumably why he's so reticent as to say what is there. Perhaps his wife needs to investigate as much as we want him investigated. Perhaps she should take the iPad off him, hand it over and say, please investigate this. I believe there may be some very naughty stuff on it. Anyway, the Health Secretary was on the verge of breaking down several times, and no wonder. He had been rumbled after 2 weeks of speculation. His device hadn't been used for only parliamentary business while on holiday in Morocco, despite repeated assurances from both himself and his SNP chums. And therefore, at that point, he's a liar and he's a thief. He tried to fraudulently claim money, and indeed did fraudulently claim money. And even if he offers to pay it back, that doesn't mean that the crime didn't happen. It just means he's trying to clear the evidence of the crime. But it still needs to be investigated. He still needs to be charged. He still needs to be jailed for it. Instead, he claims his kids had been watching football on it, most probably a Rangers v Celtic clash on January the 2nd, when the bulk of the bill was notched up. His sorry statement raised more questions than it answered. And of course it did. And I covered part of this in a little flash video I did straight after I did my main video on this subject, which is basically how the hell are the kids able to use a parliamentary iPad with lots of confidential information on it, which is password protected, and which should not even have been taken out of the country, strictly speaking. Anyway, on the verge of breaking down several times, he claimed, I'm going to use the word lied, that he only found out last Thursday, and that's complete and utter horseshit. Obviously, he knew when he was putting the claim in, because nobody runs up £11,000 without checking it. You don't just suddenly go, oh, there's £11,000, oh, never mind, the public will pay that. No, that's not how it works, is it? Anyway, despite that on Monday, he was unequivocal about when asked about what the device had not been used for anything other than parliamentary business. And he knew, of course he did, because he don't do £11,000 worth of parliamentary business in a week on holiday. He said the device was being used without his knowledge. Whoa, security unit here? Let's get MI6 in to investigate? You don't know who's been using it then. If it's been used without your knowledge, Michael, it could have been used by enemies of the state. Surely MI6, I think, need to be thoroughly investigating the contents of that iPad. So anyway, his children apparently have open access to a parliamentary device with confidential information on it. That in itself is a crime. He said he had chosen to keep things quiet to protect his family. Well, that also seems a bit odd, considering how he's just thrown them completely under the bus. Not much sign of protection there. If you were truly protecting your family, you'd have said, yes, okay, I was watching football on it and I apologise. Taken the heat yourself. That's what a father does, who loves his family. Why not resign last week to draw a line under the whole sorry episode rather than using them, his family, to try and save his ministerial career? He won't be winning Father of the Year anytime soon. I imagine when they get home tonight, his kids will run into the kitchen, pick up that Father of the Year mug or Best Dad Ever mug, smash it and put the bits in the bin, just to send the message that their father is a complete tosser. Which he is. Matheson and his SNP buddies might have hoped that this would be an end to it, but they are wrong. Oh, they are indeed very much mistaken. There will be no end to it until the device is investigated and until he resigns, but not just as a minister, but resigns as a politician. He is a liar and a thief, and he should not be representing people. He's untrustworthy. He cannot be allowed to hold information that is confidential any further. Even on security grounds alone, he should be disbarred from holding public office. And what of Hamza Yousaf's part in all of this? He stood by his friend and ally throughout all of this. On Wednesday he said he had complete faith in him and that the situation is closed. Yes, Hamza, just because you say it's closed doesn't mean it's closed. You have no authority. He said this was after Matheson had fessed up, if we are to believe the Health Secretary's timeline. Well, you know, you can't, because these people are just strange, straight up, two-faced, barefaced, lying bastards. Every single one of them. In some ways, the First Minister tied his own fate to Matheson's. What does it say about Yousaf that he so readily accepted that £11,000 in data charge had been racked up with work emails? Or that he's happy to continue with a man who's ducked and dodged scrutiny before passing the buck to others, children, in one of the key government positions? I'd say Yousaf's reputation is damaged by association. But I'm not sure if he's got much of a reputation left. Oh no, we all know what he is. He too is a lying, two-faced bastard. They all are. Every single one of them. But there he is. There's a man who's got to go home to his children, look them in the eye and say, hey kids, I threw you under the bus because I'm an unfit father who's too scared to stand up and protect my own children. And so I thought, if I blame you for it, then I can get away with it. Love you. The kids will flip him the bird, fuck off out the other room and tell him to go boil his head. Because he is a complete and utter wanker. Ah well, how many laws has he broken? Let's see. Lying, thievery, GDPR, he's confidentiality, probably the Official Secrets Act. Yeah, it's not looking good for him, is it? I think the only way out now is to resign. But will he have the balls to do so? Or is he like Ken doll, a bit smooth at the front? Seems to be. Makes you wonder how he had so many children, especially with no balls. Anyway, I shall round off there and come up, but I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the end of it. I think it's now a case of when, not if, he resigns. I think he's got to go. If Humza Yousaf had balls, which he doesn't, he would have fired him. And if he had balls, he'd walk. The trouble is with Holyrood is there's a very, very distinct lack of balls. It is almost entirely ball-free. And that is why these little toads are still there. They daren't resign. They'd have got something wrong if they resigned. But boy, have they got this one wrong. Well, there we go. I think the police do now need to get involved. It is undoubtedly self-confessed fraud. The police have got it. They can just arrest him now. And then the moment they arrest him, they can inspect that iPad. And then who knows what they're going to get him for. Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't football. I'm pretty sure those kids didn't watch football. I'm pretty sure it was Michael watching something completely different. Thank you very much for watching. I shall stop there. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, keep watching. Hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss this story. It's going to run on. There will be more to come. Speak soon. Bye.